Hey, Shalom Israel, Yabashim and Shabbat Thumb to the brothers. Yabashim al Thumb, Bashim Yabashai. The ISUPK weekly Sabbath service. All right. If you're watching online, you can see at the very bottom of the screen our class location. All right, we have classes from Tuesday through Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. And then our Sabbath service is normally on Saturdays, of course, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. All right. Today, we're just going to kind of be going, it's almost like we're going to do like a history lesson, right? We're going to go into Joshua, the 24th chapter. What we're going to do, see what happens in that chapter is Joshua is explaining or really just kind of reminding the brothers and sisters in Israel of what their forefathers had to go through for them to get to that point that they're at. Joshua is the one that helped to lead the children of Israel into the land of Israel. That was him, right? And so this chapter is pretty much just a reminder, and that's what we always need sometimes. That's why I'm teaching the class tonight about this, because we always need a reminder of where we come from. You know, in the world they say you don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. There's some truth to that. You understand? I wouldn't know where the hell I was going if I didn't know that my forefathers were Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and if I didn't learn about them. You understand? And learn about what the Israelites did. You ain't got to bring. I'm talking about the good ones. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were righteous brothers. Let's just talk about all of the evil ones. You understand? The ones that caused us to be in this position today, that caused the curses to come upon us, and all of the evil Israelites that made sacrifices to idols and things like that. I wouldn't know who I was or how to behave myself if I didn't have examples like that before. You understand? And so what Joshua is doing is, in this chapter, is he's going over everything that led up to the point of these brothers and sisters being able to enter into their own land and call their own land by the name of their forefather Jacob, or Israel, excuse me. Right? So with that being said, we'll go ahead and we're going to do the prayers, and we'll get in and we'll break it on down. So Amadim, so we can stand. Fayagodam, so we can face the east.
We will start with the Lord's Prayer. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakotka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Natananaw, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalakanaw, Kabawatinaw, Wasalakanaw, Kawatinaw, Wala'ah, Tabayanaw, Manasayawan, Abal, Hawashinaw, Mayan, Raikaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wataparath, I will love you. Amen.
Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. That will be done in earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever.
So be it. We'll read Hakar in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Babukasha, Nathanaw, Hakat, Barapa'ah, Kalmaka'ala, Ukamadawa, Hakat, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakat, Lahakwayum, Hamatyum, Hakat, Arakawa, Hatama'ala, Lagarshan, Bashem Yahushai, the water month.
The power. In English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai.
Thank you so be it. We're going to read Psalms 121. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Aharyah, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wawataza, Ayathan,
Ayathan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Ragalka,
Ragalka,
Ayanawam,
Ayanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Ana,
Ana,
La'a,
La'a,
it's like Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yayashan,
Ayasan,
Shawamar,
Shamar,
Yashrala,
Yasharal,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Ayat,
Ayat,
Yamyaka,
Yamika,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashamash,
Hashamash,
La'a,
La'a,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarak,
Wayarak,
Balayala,
Balayala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashmarka,
Yashamarka,
Makalra,
Makalrai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Athnapashka,
Athnapashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Tazaatka,
Tazaatka,
Wabuka. It's like Waba'aka,
Waba'aka,
Ma'aitha,
Ma'aitha,
Wa'id, Awalam.
Awalam. Psalms 121st chapter in the English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help? From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yashar'Allah
he that keepeth Yashra'Allah
shall neither slumber nor
shall
sleep.
neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right
The
hand.
sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in.
from this time forth
From this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. We're going to read Psalms, the 83rd, starting with the Hebrew. Allahayim,
Allahayim,
Adama Yalaka,
Abdama Yalaka,
Alta Karash,
Alta Garash,
Wa Alta Shakwat,
Alta Shakwat,
Al,
Al,
Kayahana,
Kayana,
Awayabika,
Awayabika,
Yahama Yawan,
Yama Yuwan,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
A'amaka,
A'amaka,
Ya'ar Yamun, Ya'ar Yamun,
Yara Yamwa,
Sawada,
Sawada,
Wayatha,
Wayatha,
Ya'aitazawa,
Yaitazawa,
Altazapawanika,
Altazapawanika,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakidam,
Wanakakidam,
Magalia,
Magalia,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yasharala,
Sham Yashar'Allah,
Iwada,
Awada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawaitazawa,
Nawaitazawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakadwa,
Yakadwa,
Ayaka,
Alyaka,
Baryat,
Baryath,
Yakarathwa,
Yakarathwa,
Ahalia,
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 Idawam,
Adawam,
Wayashma'alium,
Wayashma'alia,
Mawaba,
Mawa'aba,
Wahagarium,
Wagaria,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Ma'ima1,
Ma'ima1,
Wa'imilat,
Mamalak,
Halashat,
Palashah,
Am Yashabya,
I'm Yeshua,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gamashawar,
Gamashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Hayuwa,
Zarawai,
Zawai,
Labanya Lawat,
Labanya Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aishalaham,
Shalaham,
Kamadyan,
Kamadyan,
Kasaya,
Kasayam,
Sara'ah,
Sara'ah,
Kayabyan,
Kayabi,
Banakal,
Barakal,
Kayashwan,
Koyashwan,
Nashamatwa,
Nashamawa,
Bayan,
Bayan,
Dara,
Dara,
Mayo, it's like Hayawa,
Hayuwa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'adma,
La'adama,
Shayatamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Nada,
Nada,
Yamawa,
Yamawa,
it's like Ka'ira,
Kaira,
was Wakazabak, it's like Wakazababa,
Wakazaaba,
Wakazabak,
Wakazabak,
Wakatazal,
Wakatazal,
Mana'ai,
Mana'ai,
Call,
Kal,
Nasayakamwa,
Nasayakamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Nayarasha,
Narasha,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Ath,
Ath,
Nawath,
Nawath,
Alahayim,
Alahaya,
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 Shayatamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Kagogala,
Kagogala,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapanya Raka,
Lapanya Rakar,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Taba'ira,
Nabaira,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ira,
Wakalaba,
Wakalaba,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Harayam,
Aryam,
Khan,
Khan,
Taradatma,
Naradatma,
Basairaka,
Basairaka,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapatka,
Wapatka,
Tabahalam,
Tabalam,
Mala'ab,
Mala'ab,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kwalawan,
Kwalawan,
Wayabakashwa,
Wayabakwashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Wayabahalwa,
Wayabahawa,
Adyai,
Adyai,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayabagwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Kayatha,
Kayatha,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Labadka,
Labadka,
Ayanawan,
Ayuwan,
Al,
Al,
Kal, it's like Kal,
Kal,
Ha'aratza.
Alright. Psalms 83rd chapter in English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace.
and be not still,
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thy enemies make it tumble.
and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
For they have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
For they have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
With the name of Yasha'Allah,
At the name of Yahshua,
maybe no more in remembrance.
maybe no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee,
They are confederate against thee.
the tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites
of Moab,
of Moab
and Agarenes,
and Hagareen,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Assur also is joined with them.
They have hope of the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera,
As to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of
at the
Kasan,
brook of Kisan,
which perished and endured.
which perished and endured.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red,
Make their nobles like a rat,
and like Zael.
and like Zaeb.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as Abba,
all their princes as a
and
Bach,
as Almuna,
and as a moon,
who said,
who say,
Let us take to ourselves
let us take to
the
ourselves
houses of Yahweh
the houses of Yahweh
in possession.
in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stumble before the wind,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
and as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy storm.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame,
It's like that they may seek thy name,
that they may seek thy name,
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
let them be confounded and troubled forever.
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame and perish,
let them be put to shame and perish.
that men may know that thou,
That men may know that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
art the most high over all the earth. We're gonna read the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
wa Mayakala,
Wa Ma'aka'Allah,
wa Alahayim,
Wa Alahayim,
wa Tazab Ya'ah,
Wa Zab Ya'ah,
Alawap Yahana,
Allah Wap Yahana,
Halawapyum,
Allah Wap Yahana,
Hasaranyum,
Hasaranyim,
Hakwatazayanyum,
Hakatazayanyim,
Hakayayayum,
Hakayayim,
wa Hakwathim,
Wa Agwathim,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Vashem Yahushai,
Hashem Yahweh Shai,
the Waraman.
Wa Rahman. The blessings in English. Bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Yahushai,
and Michael,
and Michael,
and the angels,
and the angels,
Commanding General Yahana,
Commanding General Hana,
the general,
the generals,
the captains,
the captains,
the officers,
the officers,
the troopers,
troopers,
and the
and the
sisters.
sisters.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh Shai.
in the name of Yahushai.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, Yahweh Shai, you need to be seated. All right. So we're going to be in Joshua, the 24th chapter. All right. We're going to read the first 7 verses. Once again, this is we're just going to go into some history on our people, specifically our forefathers, the ones that received the covenant. We're going to go over Abraham. We're going to get into a little bit about why the Most High chose him. You understand? We're going to get into Isaac a little bit. We're going to talk about all of our forefathers, the more prominent names, right? The more the names that most people know about. And it's important to understand those things. Why? So that way we can understand why we're in the position that we're in today, why the Most High chose us, all of that. All right. So we're going to go to Joshua 8:24. All right. All right, so I'm going to read the first 7 verses, and we'll read it in Hebrew first, and then we'll read it in the English. All right, and we'll break it down. So Joshua 24:1 in the Hebrew, Waya Asap, Yahweh Shai, Ath Kal, Shabbatya, Yasharala, Shekama, Waya Korah, Lazaquanya, Yasharala, Wala Ra'ash Yawa, Wala Shapatyum, Wala Shapat Yawa, Wayathaya, it's like it, Wayathaya Tazab Bawa, Lapanya Alahayum, verse 2, Waya Amar, Yahweh Shai, Al Kal, Ha'im, Kaha, Amar, Yahweh, Alahaya, Yasharala, Ba'aibar, Hanahar, Yeshabwa, Bawa Slaki. Hawabathikum, Ma'awalam, Tharak Anya, Baraham, Wa Anya, Nakawar, kind of Slaki. Nakawar, Waya Ibadwa, Alahayim, Akaryum, verse 3, Wa Slaki. Aquat, Ath, Bayakam, Ath, Baraham, my bar, Hanair, it's like it. Hanahar, it's like it. Well, I will lock, Awathwa, Bakal, Aratazar, Hana'ain, Araba, Ath, Zariwa, Ath, it's like a Wathan, Lawa, Ath, Yetaza, Yetazakak, verse 4, Wathan, it's like it. Wathan, Layatazakak, Ath, Yaikwab, Wa'ath, Aishawa, Wa'athan, La'aishawa, Ath, Har, Sha'ayar, Larashath, Awathwa, Waya, it's like Wayaikwab, Wabanya Wa, Yarabwa, Matazar, in verse 5. It's like in verse 5. Wa'ashalak, Ath, Mashah, Wa'ath, Aharan, or Aran, it's like Wa'agab, Ath, Matazarium, Ka'ashar, Ashayathia, Bakorabwa, Wakar, Hawataza, Athya, Athkam, verse 6, Wa'awatazaya, Ath, Abawath, Yakam, Wamatazarium, Wathaba Wa'a, it's like a Wathaba Awa, Hayama, Wayaradapwa, Matazarium, Akarya, Abawath Yakam, Barakab, Wabaparashim, Yum, Sawat, verse 7, it's like it. Where Taza Aikawa, Al, Yahweh, Wayasham, Ma'apal, Bayan Yakam, it's like a Bayan Yakam, Wabayan, Hamatazarium, Waya Ba'a, Al, Yawa, Ath, Hayam, Waya Kasawa, Wathar Yana, Ayan Yakam, Ath, Ashar, Ashayathia, Bamatazarium. It's like with the Shabya, what the Shabwa, Salakia, Bamadabar, Yama Yum, Rabba Yum. All right, or Rab Yum, Salakia. That was verses 1 through 7 in Hebrew. I'm gonna read those now. Read those in the English. All right, we're gonna read those in the English, same 7 verses, and then we're gonna break it down. So, Joshua, get there. Joshua the 24th. Just to give you some background, right before we read this, all right. I kind of gave a little bit of background, right, in the beginning of the Sabbath service, but Joshua was the one that led the children of Israel into Egypt, right? I mean, excuse me, not into Egypt. Damn, that would have been a disservice. He led the children of Israel into their land, into our land, the land of Israel. For those that do not know, Moses was intended to lead us all the way into our homeland, Israel, right? But of course, he was not allowed to enter into the kingdom, enter into the kingdom of Israel. The reason being is because he disobeyed the Most High, and he had to die right outside the borders of the land. So Joshua was the man that was ordained to bring the brothers and sisters of Israel into that land. And so now we're late in the book of Joshua, right? We're in the 24th chapter. There's a lot that's happened already. Joshua was a cold dude, man. Joshua was cold. This cat, he was killing the kings of these lands and hanging them up. I mean, he putting their heads on these damn. This cat, Joshua, was cold, right? And there's been so many things that's happened from Joshua chapter 1 to Joshua chapter 24, right? And if I wanted to go over all of those things, that's a Sabbath in it. That's 2-3 Sabbath services worth of material to go over, right? But just know that this is the man that was leading the children of Israel into the land, all right? And so now we almost there. And Joshua is doing something that Israel constantly needs to hear. We constantly need to be reminded of where we come from, right? And we need to be reminded of who we are. And we're gonna find out exactly what that means. Let's get into it, right? Let's get verse 1.
Book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 1. And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers. And they presented themselves before God. And Joshua said unto all the people, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time.
So now he's mentioning, now this is what Joshua is doing. He's just a history lesson. He's talking about it, right? And he's telling these brothers and these sisters, right? Because he says he gathered all the people. He did absolutely gather the elders of Israel and their heads and the judges and the officers and everybody, but also says, and he said unto all the people, right? He's talking to these people because we're about to go into our land and we need a history lesson and remember where we come from. So he brings up that our fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood. What's that talking about? That's talking about before the flood, right? Before all of those things, right? Keep going.
Even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nachor.
Right.
And it's like that.
And I was just going to say, like, and so now the flood that this is talking about it's talking about before the captivity of Egypt, right? Before the captivity of Egypt, or before the exodus from Egypt, right? These brothers and sisters have been in the wilderness for 40 years, fighting battles and all of these things. People always try to ask or try to come up against the Bible saying, oh, you know, even if you walked from the land of Egypt into the land of Israel, it wouldn't take 40 years. You got to understand the context with these things. These people, these brothers was fighting wars. You understand?
Right.
They was coming into these lands and taking whole countries. You understand? That's why the scripture said that, for one, we got to really pay attention to what is being said in the Bible about what happened at that time. These brothers and sisters, right, at that time was made to wander in the land, wander in the wilderness, right, after the exodus of Egypt, right? And it took 40 years to get into the land of Israel because there were so many different things going on. Like I just mentioned, the wars. Wars don't just, contrary to popular belief, wars don't just like these movies. They just had these battles, they destroy the people, and now they just move and they press forward. Battles don't take 2 hours. Like the movies make you think like a battle is like, yeah, we swinging swords for 2 hours and then, everybody's dead and we move on. No, battles take days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months. You understand? For one battle. So now you got to think about that right now. That happened a million times. I'm exaggerating, of course. While these brothers and sisters was in the wilderness, right? And so we was wandering for that long. So it's been a lot going on, right? And so Joshua is telling them to remember. He said, even Terah, right? Even Terah, the father of who?
Of Abraham.
The father of Abraham, right? So now we're going to have to figure out, we're going to go into that in just a little bit, right? We're going to go talk about Abraham for a minute. But let's finish this scripture real quick.
And they serve other gods.
Mm-hmm.
And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him throughout all the land of Canaan.
Right. So that's, and when you go and you look at this thing, right? Because Abraham, when you look at the story of Abraham and his family didn't know the Most High. Okay, that's the first thing we got to understand. And we'll read it, we'll understand it in just a second. Right, we'll get the scripture for it. But they didn't know the Most High. They didn't. Right? It's not like it is today where everybody, believes or, so-called believes in the God of the Bible. There was no Bible back then for them to believe in. So these cats was believing in everything.
Right.
I mean, there were so many gods back around that time that it was ridiculous. Right? And the reason why is because nobody had any guidance. Nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew who to serve. Nobody knew what morals and customs to keep. People just did whatever they thought was right. You know what I'm saying? And so Abraham and his family, that's what they did until the Most High had chosen Abraham to deal with him, right? Let's keep going.
And multiplied his seed.
Before we keep reading, let's get Genesis real quick. Let's get Genesis the 11th chapter. Let's read about Abraham real quick, because actually that was actually something I wanted to point out. The fact that him and his family served other gods, right? Let's get Genesis 11. We'll start at verse 26. So Genesis 11, get there with you right quick. 11 to 26. Is that where I want? Yeah, that's what I want. So, of course, the scriptures mention Terah, and Terah was the father of Abraham. Talked about Abraham, and it said that they served other gods, and that's absolutely true. And let's find out about it, right? So Genesis 11 and 26.
Book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 26. And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abraham. It's like Abram,
Right.
Nahor, and Haran.
Right. So now you have Abram, which is Abraham before his name was changed to Abraham. His name was Abram, right? And then he had two brothers, Nahor and Haran, right? You learn about them if you read the book of Genesis. You'll learn about his brothers as well, right? So let's skip down. Let's skip down to verse 29. I just wanted to show y'all what Joshua was referencing. That's how we know, because Joshua wasn't, of course, alive at all when Abraham was alive, right? These are traditions, or not traditions. These are lineages that are passed down throughout time, right? In Israel, it's a custom for you to know your forefathers. Why is it a custom? Because Numbers 1 and 18 says that you are who your father is, right? Your father makes up who you are. So if your father is an Israelite, that's who you are. If your father is an Edomite, then that's who you are. You come from the lineage of Esau, right? So it's always been our custom as Israel to keep tabs on who our forefathers are. And I mean to the T. You see some of these lineages in the Bible, it's ridiculous. I'm talking about this. I remember the first time I read the Bible all the way through, and the lineages have been probably the hardest part, because sometimes you got pages of just, and this person begat this person, and this person begat this person, which was the father of this person, and the father, and it just goes on forever. And it's like you want to skip it, but you like, no, this is important information. It's in here for a reason, right? Well, Israel is like that, right? We have to know who our people are. We have to know where we stem from. Even I can't recall right now what book it was, but there was a certain group of brothers who could not provide their registry, meaning who they come from. They couldn't provide their father's lineage, right? You know the scripture I'm talking about, right? There's a scripture, right, where it talks about the fact that these brothers couldn't provide their father's lineage to prove whether or not there was Israel. So you think us doing that today is something new? It's always been that way. Things that were done in the past are the same things that are done now. We ask you who your father is. Sometimes we'll ask you who your grandfather is. We'll ask you if your great-grandfather was a descendant of slaves. We'll ask you those types of things because it's important, because that's what's always been important in the Bible, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 29. Mm-hmm. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, mm-hmm. and the name of Nahor's wife, Milcah. Mm-hmm. the daughter of Haran, the father of Malka, and the father of Iskah.
Right. So I really wanted to focus on Abram, right? Abram taking this, or Abraham. I'm just gonna call him Abraham. That's his name, right? Abraham, his wife's name was Sarai, and I want y'all to just please pay attention to that sister, because I'm gonna be honest, what that sister endured dealing with Abraham. Not that Abraham was like a bad man or anything, but the Lord told Abraham to do some ridiculous things. I mean, I'm talking about leave your family and everybody and take you, your wife, and your kids and go to this land that you don't know anything about. And she just got up and said, yeah, okay, well, hey, listen. You know, it's like, God damn. It's like that, you know. But anyway, we'll actually read that in just a minute. But give me verse 31 if you could.
Verse 30. But Sarai was barren. She had no child. And Terah took Abram, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law.
His Sarai, which is his daughter-in-law, because Abram took Sarai to wife, right? So now Terah, which is the father of Abram, is taking all of them and they're about to go somewhere. Go ahead.
And it's like daughter-in-law, his son Abraham's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees.
That's where they're from. That's where Abraham and his family are from. Is Ur of the Chaldees, right? Go ahead.
To go into the land of Canaan.
And that's where they went. They went to the land of Canaan, which is a Hamite land, right? Go ahead.
And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran.
Right, Haran is like a province of Canaan, right? Think of Canaan as a country. It's a Hamite country. It's an African country. Yeah, you can say it's a country, right? So it's a country, and then you have provinces within that country. Haran was one of them, and that's where Abraham went to dwell. His father under his father's guidance, right? So now let's get just keep reading into the 12th chapter.
Verse 12.
And it's important really to look at this because, for one, because Joshua he's telling these brothers about this for a reason, right? But it's important to look at this because you're going to see something about what this brother and other brothers that Joshua mentioned had to endure, right? Go ahead.
Book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 1. Now the Lord said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country.
He said, what?
Get thee out of thy country.
So now his father Terah took him and his family and his wife and all of that, right? His brother, all of those things, took them into this land. They were originally from Ur of the Chaldees. They went into the land of Canaan, specifically the province called Haran. And they dwelt there for quite some time, and Terah died, right? His father died. The Lord spoke unto Abraham and said, get thee out of thy country. You're going to have to leave this place. This place that you've made home for yourself, you're going to have to leave. And it says, from thy kindred, meaning from your family. You're going to have to leave Nahor, right? You're going to have to leave him. You're going to have to leave all of these people that your relatives, you're going to have to leave them. You're going to have to leave the land that you live in, that you've grown accustomed to, right? And you're going to have to leave what it says next, your father's house. And you're going to have to go to a land that the Most High shows you. That's what the Lord told Abraham to do, right? Keep going, verse 2.
Verse 2, and I will make of thee a great nation.
And he said, I want to make of you a great nation. See, this is what people don't understand. People think that we just focus on Jacob, like we just focus on like Israel and Israelites all the time. You got to understand, we focus on who God chooses all the time. That's who we focus on. We focus on, I say this all the time. I say it again, just in case anybody has not heard me say this. The Most High has always chosen somebody, and he's always had a chosen lineage. He started off with Adam. Out of the people that were on the face of the earth, because Adam and Eve were not the first people on the face of this earth, right? There were other people, right? Mankind was created on the 6th day. Adam was brought into the truth on the 7th day, right? So just think about that for a second, right? And Adam, the Most High chose Adam from Adam, then you have Seth's lineage, which goes down into somebody's name, Noah, right? You have Noah, which obviously the Most High chose because he chose him and his 3 sons and their wives, of course, and his wife as well, to be the only ones to survive the flood. Everybody else had to die. But he chose Noah. Why? Because he was righteous and upright and perfect in his generations, right? So then you have Noah. Then out of Noah's lineage, one of his sons' names was Shem. Shem, through that long lineage, you have Abraham, right? Out of Abraham comes Isaac. Out of Isaac comes Jacob. Out of Jacob comes the 12 tribes of Israel. The Lord has always had one nation, one group of people that he's chosen. It's always been the same one. He didn't switch it. He never went from one to another. It's always been the same lineage. Well, that's what we see here now. We see now that coming to fruition with Abraham, and the Most High is telling Abraham, you leave these people, all right? I'm choosing your specific lineage. That's what I'm choosing. And he said, of thee, I'm going to make a great nation, right? Go ahead.
And thou shalt be a blessing, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
So now this is what this scripture is saying, right? So the Most High is telling Abraham that I'm choosing you out of everybody, all of the millions of people that was on the earth at that time. I'm choosing you.
Right.
And you're going to be the chosen one. You and your family, the family that you produce out of your loins, which we then go, if we keep reading, we find out that this is talking about Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what you find out when you continue reading, right? The nations that curse us, those nations are going to be cursed. You understand? We come to find out the nations that curse us, read the book of Obadiah, we find out that they have some punishment coming because they cursed us.
Right.
You understand? And then the nations that blessed us, those are the nations that get blessed. Why? Because they get to remain on this earth. They get to remain on this earth. You know, the scripture, I'll pull the scripture in a little bit, but the scriptures talk about the fact that what we don't understand about what these other nations have done to us is, especially when it comes to Esau, right? Esau has done something that's so terrible to us that it's like unforgivable. You can't forgive it. Christianity have you thinking like, yeah, they can be forgiven for that, right? But the Most High said that these nations that have cursed us, they have to be cursed. Right. You go into the book of Obadiah, you find out that they get, they get exterminated, genocide. I mean, completely eradicated from the earth. Right. And so, but and the only reason the Most High made that promise to Abraham is because he chose Abraham and his lineage. It's that simple, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 4. So Abraham departed.
So he left. He didn't even question God. It's not, and if you say he did, you can't say that because it's not in here. I don't see it on the paper nowhere. He didn't question God at all. The Lord told him, listen, I'm gonna make you chief on the face of this earth. That now sometimes people will try to take it and say that that promise was given to the Israelites. That promise was given to Abraham and passed down all the way through that lineage unto the Israelites. But that's why Joshua is referring to this. He's referring to this because you have to know why we were given that promise. Like the Lord didn't just pick Jacob. He didn't just pick Isaac. You understand?
Right. So like,
go ahead.
If I could, in Romans it says these two weren't even born. They haven't even done anything. You know what I'm saying? They were just, you know what I'm saying? They haven't done nothing yet. But yet the Most High already had, you know what I'm saying, chosen them from the womb. You know what I'm saying? It's lucky.
No, and that's the point. And that's because it goes all the way back to the beginning. You understand? Like that's why, and it's not once again, it's not just, the Lord just picking and choosing. I like this one, I like that one. It's been that way since the beginning. The Lord has always had a chosen lineage of people. There's scripture, matter of fact, I'm gonna have to find it. I believe it's in the Apocrypha. The scriptures say that there are nations that were created just to serve us. That's the only reason they exist. That's it. I said that, and I gotta find it so I can make sure that I that I cite my source. But it's in the Bible Nations were created just to serve us. Now you think about that, right? But I just wanted to give that a little bit of history. Can you finish off that verse?
Okay.
And the 4.
And the 4. As the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran.
All right, so that's all we need on that, right?
Okay.
So let's go back to Jeremiah. I mean, not Jeremiah. What the hell am I talking about? Joshua. God. Let's go back to Joshua 24th chapter. We're going to keep reading this thing down. We're going to talk a little bit more about Abraham, right? But I just want to kind of go back and forth between Joshua and between the account of Abraham, just so we can kind of understand it. All right. Yeah, let's get verse 3. So Joshua 24 and verse 3.
Verse 3. And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him throughout all the land of Canaan and multiplied his seed and gave him Isaac.
And so when you find this out, right, you go and you look at this, and if you've read the Bible or if you know anything about Abraham, what we just read was just the beginning, right? We just read the beginning, the Most High's interaction with Abraham, because we're going to find out that Abraham he became a friend of God, which is, I don't even know, I can't even fathom that, to be called a friend of God. You understand? But you understand that Abraham at that time was the only one serving God. Think about that. Abraham was the only one serving God at that time in earth that the Most High had created with all of the beings in it. There was only one person that was serving God. Nobody else was serving the Most High because nobody understood the Most High. They were serving the gods of the Canaanites. There were many gods that people served before anybody served the Most High. That's why the Most High had to intervene with Adam, right? Because at that time, you had the Assyrians. They were serving their gods.
Right.
There were many people that were serving all of their gods. They were worshiping the stars, horoscopes, and all of those things. That was before Adam. And then the Most High had to step in, and he chose Adam. And he said, you know what you should do with these stars? You should look at these. Like, one thing that people do that's so spooky as hell is they look at the stars and they'll make a lion out of anything. That's where the Leo come from. Or like the Capricorn or the what's the one? What's that one?
Pisces or Libra.
The Pisces, which is the fish, right? They look at that and they look at the stars and they're drawing these things out, but they're not there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not there, right? And when you actually look at the constellations that they're referring to, they don't look anything like what they say they are. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what the Most High did with Adam, it's an old General Muhammad tape. I can't find it. I've been looking for it because I've been wanting to post it on YouTube. But he went in and got the whole breakdown of how the Most High used stars to communicate with Adam and communicated with him to show that you see how everybody else is worshiping these things. These things aren't to be worshipped. You understand? That's not what they're for, right? He get a whole breakdown, right? And he get a breakdown about how the horse you can use to ride and not eat it. You eat all the goddamn horses, you won't have any transportation. Right. You eat all of the donkeys, you won't have any transportation, right? You eat all of the camels, you won't have any transportation. You'll find out that those particular animals are unclean to eat because they are supposed to be used for you to get around or to do work, right? So that's the first time that you see the Most High step in, right, and teach Adam, right, or teach a brother, right, how to serve God. But then you now have this instance with Abraham, where Abraham is the only person serving God. Abraham is the only one that the Most High, from what we see in the text, that's the only person that we see the Most High speaking to and telling him to do something. And Abraham is like, okay. And he gets up and do it, right? Like we just read. The Most High told Abraham, yeah, I'm gonna make you I'm gonna multiply your seed. You're gonna be the father of many nations, all of these things, right? And Abraham just got up and he left and he did exactly what the Most High said to do, right?
Right.
So I just wanted to point that out, right? Because that's important. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And I gave unto Isaac Jacob and Esau.
So the Most High gave unto Jacob, unto Isaac, Jacob, and Esau. Gave him two children, right? Go ahead.
And I gave unto Esau Mount Seir.
So he said, but I gave unto Esau Mount Seir. He gave Esau his land. That's where Esau is from. The so-called white men, they dwell in the cleft of the rock. Their original homeland is Mount Seir, right? Keep going.
To possess it.
That's their land, right? Go ahead.
But Jacob and his children went down into Egypt.
But he didn't give us a damn thing but slavery. That sounds crazy, right? But we're gonna find out why it is that he gave us slavery and gave white people their own land. We're gonna find out why that is, right? Go ahead.
And I sent Moses also and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt.
And he did what?
And I plagued Egypt.
See, this has always been a part of the Most High's plan. Like the Most High has people, like Christians say, oh, God has a plan, this, that, and the third. They don't know what God's plan is. They don't realize that God's plan, when we go into Romans, the 9th chapter, what does it say? It says that the Most High, he did those things. He raised up Pharaoh just so he could bring him down. The Most High, he's going to show you who he is. That's what he's going to do. He's going to show you exactly who he is. And that's how you show a nation of people that this nation of people can't be touched. That's how you put fear in another nation's heart, so that way they don't touch your children. And that's what the Most High did, because then after that, we see even in the book of Judith, they were saying what? Don't touch them if they're serving their God.
Right. Because
they are absolutely going to win. It don't matter if it's 2 of them and it's 1 million of y'all. They're going to win somehow.
I mean, come on. Jude, what was it? Levi and oh man, it was Levi and no, not Simeon.
What you referring to?
The Dominicans and the Haitians.
Yeah, Levi and Simeon.
Levi and Simeon, right? Mm-hmm. Who took over a whole, you know what I'm saying? All these Africans, they just come on,
yeah,
over
right.
a whole, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like it.
Right.
John Simeon, the water, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, shit. It just takes 2 of us, you know what I'm saying? As long as the Lord's with us, that's it.
Damn right. That's heavy. That's a heavy point. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point. Like what we're reading about, that's the whole point, and that's what the Lord is trying to establish. He wants everybody to fear us. He wants everybody to look at us and say, I know what that God did. That's the reason why the Most High just gave Esau Mount Seir. He allowed them to go and have their own land, and they could have it. And he put us in captivity. You know why he put us in captivity? To get us out of captivity. To show that there's a being, there's a supernatural divine being that led these people out of out of Egypt. He did that so that way the other nations would say, yeah, that God right there, I don't want to deal with. We're gonna read, hopefully, if we have enough time, we're gonna read about the Amorites. We're gonna read about the fact that they knew, even when we were in the wilderness, that the message had passed through. That that God of Israel, he parted the Red Sea, he turned they water to blood. You understand? Like right. They're going to know these things, and that was the purpose of all of that, right?
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Like, hey, did you ever hear? Like, did you know how they escaped?
Mm-hmm.
The sea split in 2. Like, imagine that. It's like imagine hearing that. It's like imagine hearing this story where it's like these people who were slaves at one point. You know what I'm saying? At one point, left their slave masters. And all thanks to the help of their God.
Right.
Now that will have you wondering, like, man, what power are they serving?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What do they have? Like, they're nothing but what? Slaves. They're nothing but servants. So what, you know what I'm saying? What weapons, what, you know what I'm saying? What did they have? What tool did they use to defeat a nation so great as Egypt? You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, you have to question yourself. And then all these other nations heard about it and see and like, you know what I'm saying, heard about these stories and seen them, and some of them faced, you know what I'm saying, Israel. And it's like, man, we tested it, and it's like, okay, you know what?
Right.
It is not a tale, you know what I'm saying? It is not a story. It's real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they have something with them. and it's you know what I'm saying, and it's been recorded. You know what I'm saying? It's been told, and they all these other nations, they know about this, right? They all know about this, right? It's like, you go ahead and take it.
No, you got it. Like, that's what you said was so heavy. That's the whole point. Like, the Lord is doing, like, he did those things, just like Romans 9 said, just to show his power. And he did it, and it worked.
Right.
It absolutely worked. The other nations was looking at us like, yeah, I know what your God did. And that's why I referenced Judas, because they know if we serving God, there's nothing that they can do to stop us.
Right.
Nothing. Right. All right, let's keep going. He said, I sent Moses and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt.
Right. According to that which I did among them. And afterward, I brought you out.
And afterward, I brought you out. This is the Lord calling to remember. He's trying to get these brothers and sisters, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Israelites. He's trying to get y'all to remember what he did for you. See, because we always forget. You know, the slightest thing happened to us, and it's just, you know, we forget about the fact that the Most High had us on top for so long. And I'm not even talking now. We can use that biblically, and we can say, yes, we used to have our own kings, our own infrastructure, all of those things, sure. But you can even just keep it into your own life, not even thinking about the Bible. When you doing good and you got all the money you need and all of those things, you love the Most High. As soon as things go bad, you're like, oh my God, why me, God? Oh, God is just a bully picking on me. That's how we are. So we have to be constantly reminded about the things that the Lord did for us. And that's what he's doing right now, right? Keep going.
Verse 6. And I brought you. It's like verse 6. And I brought you. It's like, and I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and ye came unto the sea, and the Egyptians pursued after your fathers, and with chariots and horsemen unto the Red Sea.
Mm-hmm.
And when they cried unto the Lord, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians,
mm-hmm.
and brought the sea upon them, and covered them. And your eyes have seen what I have done in Egypt, and ye dwell in the wilderness as a long season.
Right. This is what we got to understand. The Most High is explaining right now. Man, listen. You should know who I am. Like, he was explaining to these brothers, if you can hold for me, Exodus 15. He was explaining that you should know exactly who I am and what I'm capable of and what I would do for you. Because the Most High, what he did, this is after what we're reading right now. The Most High explaining this in the book of Joshua. We're reading after Deuteronomy 28. Like, Deuteronomy 28 was delivered by Moses. Moses was the one that delivered what the Most High said unto the children of Israel about the fact that you're going to be cursed if you disobey me, and you're going to be blessed if you obey me. This is after all of that. If you find anything in this Bible, one thing you will find is the fact that the Most High is consistently giving us direction. He's trying to let us know. He's trying to help us out. He's trying, because he knows us. He know, like any good father knows how their kids are, and they know what their kids need. Some kids don't need to be told what to do more than once. You know what I mean? Some kids just need to be told once. It's okay. Yeah, my dad said I don't do it. I don't do it. You understand? Well, Israel's not like that. He knows he got some badass kids, and so he knows I have to tell them over and over again. You understand? Don't go out there messing with them hoodlums over there. The old heads be saying that type of stuff, right? Don't go out there messing with them boys on that street. You understand? Don't go out there. Don't stay out past the street lights.
Right, you can't. It's like, don't pass that corner.
Don't go past that corner. Like those types of things. Why? Right. Because you can't just be told something once and just hold to it. Some kids can be told, don't do this. Don't go hanging out with them cats. They're gonna get you hurt. And they'll be like, okay, yeah, all right. My dad said don't do it. I guess I'm not going to do it then. We're not that. We're the ones that go and hang out with the kids, with the bad kids, with them kids on the block, and we find out the hard way. When they pass you, when they pass you a crack rock and tell you to put it in your tongue or something like that, because it happens. You understand? We're those ones. And then the police pull up and they find out that you got crack in your mouth, and now you got to spend a night in jail and hopefully get bailed out, or maybe not. Maybe your father's a good father and let you sit in there for a little while. That's what a good father did. I told you not to go hanging with them niggas. And guess what the Most High did? He did that. He told us not to go deal with the other nations, and we went and dealt with them. And then we got caught with the crack rock in our mouth, and we went to jail. And he ain't bail us out. He ain't bail us out yet, right? You get what I'm saying? We've been in this captivity for over 400 years. And we ain't been bailed out yet. Why? Because the Lord told us not to deal with the heathens anyway. And because we dealt with the heathen, because we got off into idolatry, because we disobeyed the Most High, the Lord allowed these people to come and take us into captivity. You understand? That's what a good father does.
Right.
Teach you a lesson right quick. You understand? Keep going.
So you want 15 and 1 or?
Oh yeah. Let me get Exodus 15 and we start the first verse.
Book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 1. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously.
For ye have triumphed gloriously. This is directly after the defeat of the Egyptians, right? The Most High, this is directly after you get that split of the Red Sea. The Israelites are able to move through that split in the Red Sea and get across to the other land. And as soon as all of the Israelites are safe and outside of that area where the water was, the Lord collapses that sea and makes it go back to normal. Okay. And then now all of the Egyptian army is drowned. And they get washed up. It gets real detailed in here. They get washed up on the shore. You understand? And all of the Israelites look back at this and they say, man, like there's a power, a force with us that you just can't touch. You understand? And so now this is a song that Moses wrote. This is a song that Moses wrote. And that's why he said, it says, then sang Moses and the children. Let me go over here. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord. This is a song, a prayer unto the Most High, right? I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. Because that's one thing we know about the Most High is he's a man of war. We're going to get it in just a second. It's in the same chapter. The Most High is a man of war, and he has triumphed in this battle. Go ahead.
Come. The horse and his rider has he thrown into the sea. The Lord is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. He is my power, and I will prepare him in the habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him.
That's our job, man. We got to exalt the Most High. How do you exalt the Most High? By doing what the hell the Most High said. That's what you do. You exalt the Most High by doing what he said, and everybody is going to look at you different. Everybody's going to look at like, hey, this cat is a little bit different. And then when they ask you, hey, man, what's going on with you? Like, what is this about? Why do you act like this? Why do you do these things? Why are you so kind? Why are you so, you understand? Why are you so disciplined? Like those types of questions we get asked all the time. And we exalt the Most High by saying, well, in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, we're taught what Christ taught us. We follow the law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High laid out for us. And that's why we act this way. That's why you perceive us as disciplined and kind and more kind than everybody else, because nobody else does these things. But we do, because the Lord guided us, right? And that's how you exalt the Most High. You exalt the Most High by presenting yourself to be something that is totally different than somebody else has ever seen, right? And that's what Moses understood. How do I know Moses understood that? Because he told us that we are holy, because the Lord said that we're holy. The term holy means separate. We're different than everybody else. We can't act like the heathens. We can't act like anybody else. We have to be different. And we're the only group of people, the Israelites, the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the only group of people that have a solid foundation in morals. There's no other, you cannot tell me that there's another group of people that have a solid foundation in morals. Because even Buddhism, right? They say that Buddhism is like one of the most moral religions, but you could be a homosexual in Buddhism. There's no law in Buddhist ideology that you cannot be a homosexual.
Right. And if I could,
Mhm.
and all of them abuse themselves, you know what I'm
Con.
saying? With other men. You know what I'm saying?
Con.
They abuse themselves, they abuse their women, you know what I'm saying? They abuse animals. You know what I'm saying? They abuse animals. They like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they don't have any morals. They don't know how to live. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's all because they don't have the proper structure. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They don't have the proper structure. They don't have a what? A book of laws and a book of, you know what I'm saying? A book of laws that comes from the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a God that's alive the way ours is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They serve a lie and we serve the truth.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between us and them. That's why they suffer. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we suffer joining them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's heavy what you just brought out. And the thing is, they don't have judgments. Like
Come.
the Bible gives us judgments and punishments for what we do. If we do something that's against these laws, statutes, and commandments, there's a punishment. Now, a lot of the times it's death, but you find punishments for stealing, you're going to have to render I believe is thrice what you took, right? And all different types of things. There's so many different ways that you get punished for breaking the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And here in America, we're not so used to that because yes, we're used to the American law, but we're not used to civil disagreements because civil disagreements don't ever go to court here in America. Like something small, like you and your brother have a disagreement that never goes to court. They got money to be going to court. You understand? So what happens? You try to solve it between yourself. You know what I'm saying? So then you got one brother angry at another brother for this reason. They have to figure. There's no court they can go to. They just have to figure it out.
Or just like that one situation in the Bronx, right? Junior, right?
Oh,
Junior
God.
Guzman, right? Where it's like this woman, you know what I'm saying, goes up to her family and, you know what I'm saying, gets this brother killed, you know what I'm saying? Because she, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And that was the wrong brother to, like,
and
it
was
wasn't
the
even
wrong brother.
And that's the thing, like with righteous judgment, that would never happen.
Exactly.
With righteous judgment, we would have been able to ask the sister, okay, you said, because I think the sister was trying to say that, yeah, she was trying to say that somebody raped her.
Right.
Because she got caught on video having sex with some man.
Right.
And it wasn't Junior, it was somebody else. And she got caught on video, and because she didn't want to be looked at as a slut and get in trouble for having sex, I think she was under 18. She tried to say, "Oh yeah, this guy raped me, and it was this guy," or rape in the sense, and she pointed out this guy. I think she pulled up on Facebook his Facebook page. She's like, "Yeah, it's him." So then she got, like you said, she got her family or some friends or something like that to come and kill this brother. And it's such a sad story because brother was killed. I saw the video. Like, I can't even. I don't even want to talk about it, but. Anyway, point being is, with righteous judgment, you're going to ask that sister because now she's bearing witness, meaning she's saying this is for sure what happened is this person that she's bearing witness. Now you don't know whether it's false or not yet, but you know she's bearing witness. She's saying, "I witnessed this. It happened to me." Now, I'm going to show you some code about the law, right? Because she bore this witness. Now you're going to have to investigate, and now you're going to have to figure out whether or not she's telling the truth. If you come to find out what she was lying, if you come to find out that she was lying, the punishment that brother would receive for committing that rape, she now has to get. What's the punishment for rape? Death. You find that in the book of Deuteronomy, right? It's unlawful to rape, and not only is it just unlawful, but it's an offense punishable by death. So now, because she lied, there's another scripture that says when you lie on somebody, you bear false witness on somebody. Whatever you bore false witness on them for, you get the punishment for it. So if you say that somebody raped you, and it comes to the light that you were not raped and that you lied, now you get to die because you tried to get that brother killed. That's righteous rulership. That's righteous judgment. But instead, because we live in this wicked society where we're taught by our oppressor how to handle situations, which is being a goddamn barbarian and a savage, then that's what we do. Some woman comes and tells us, "What are your sister gonna come and tell you? Oh yeah, this man raped me." You don't ask no question. Okay, I'm just gonna kill him.
Yeah, and
I don't know
really
what to
it's
tell you.
because they don't have no discipline.
Darn.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to not get high. So what righteous judgment can they give getting
Right.
high?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What righteous judgment can they get? You know what I'm saying? Can they have sleeping with whores, sleeping with each other's women? You know what I'm saying? Like what good can come out of this? You know what I'm saying? What good fruits can come out of this? You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta fix ourselves, man. We gotta fix ourselves so we can be able to be a judge amongst our own. You know what I'm saying? So we can govern ourselves. We don't have to go to no other nation, you know what I'm saying, to plead for help. We can just look up to our, you know what I'm saying, to the men above us and find out that we have a government. We have salvation. You know what I'm saying? We have a place where we can just call home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A place where we can just dwell in brotherhood and sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? A place where we could just, you know what I'm saying, get along. We can resolve black and Hispanic issues. You know what I'm saying? We can figure out we have the tool. We just are too you know what I'm saying? We're just too blind to see them. You know what I'm saying? We just too caught up on every little thing that's going on around us. You know what I'm saying? Like you have something, right? And you're not gonna find it in the Christian church. Believe me. You know what I'm saying? You can look and search all you want. Every other religion, you know what I'm saying? You go and join all these religions, and all you're gonna find is how dumb, you know what I'm saying, it is making you look.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna feel stupid. Why? Because God is not there.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And God is not there, and there is no such thing as, you know what I'm saying, as loving everyone. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to find out the hard way, right? Which is how most people find out. Right? Go ahead, Salavi.
No, you too wild. That's heavy. Like that's heavy, right? And that's like kind of like honestly, that's the whole point. The whole like what he just said. That's like really the point, right, of what Joshua was talking about. Now you gotta be spiritual and not carnal to see it. But that's exactly
Right.
what Joshua was talking about. He's trying to show these brothers and sisters what the truth really is. Okay, because you gotta understand how important what's happening right now is. Like right now in the book of Joshua, what we're reading, they're getting ready to go into their own land. We're going to find out that they did not listen to Joshua. They don't give a damn about what Abraham said. They don't care about Isaac and Jacob. They don't care about Noah. They don't care about anything that's coming. They don't even care about the things that they experienced in the wilderness. Like if you keep reading, right, we won't be able to get to it tonight, but if you keep reading in the 8th verse of Joshua 24, it talks about the incident with the Amorites and how they went to war with the Amorites and all of the things that happened then. These people experienced that. You understand? And it still wasn't enough to keep them away from idolatry. Even I ain't gotta go that far. Salakia. Think about when Israel first came out of Egypt. When the Most High took Moses upon the mount to give him the commandments, right? His brothers and sisters is like, hey man, he been up there for too long. Let's go back to worshiping Egypt's gods, because what they do, they told Aaron, which Aaron, honestly, he was too soft to be in charge. That's why Moses was in charge. That's why the Most High put Moses in charge, because Aaron was too soft to be in charge. I'm just telling you the truth. You know how I know? Because the Bible tells me so, right? Because they jumped Aaron. They said, hey man, listen, he been up there for too long. You just brought us out here to kill us? Man, listen. Hey, when we was safe in Egypt, build us one of them Egyptian gods. One of the Egyptian gods was that golden calf. Right. And so they built that calf and they worship, and those are the same people that saw the sea split. They saw the plague. They saw all of the frogs and the insects, the pestilence, all of that. Right? They saw the the water turn to blood. They saw all of that, and they still was like, come on, man, that's crazy. That's us. If that's not blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, I don't know who it is. It's lucky. Go ahead.
Right. Nah, man. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, man, it's just so much, you know what I'm saying, that we go through, and it's like the Most High, like, again, you know what I'm saying? Like you got like I gotta show you one more time.
God,
You know what I'm saying?
you got like, man.
Like, come on,
So-
like you gotta do it. How long, you know what I'm saying? How long shall you know what I'm saying? Ye simple was love simplicity.
God
Like,
damn.
how far do you have to go? How far does the oppressor have to go in order to show you that he hates you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
he hates your guts. He murders your children. You know what I'm saying? He like, come on. Like, he does all these things and still mocks you.
Right.
At the end of it, and you still choose them over your own. Like,
Right.
come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like,
That's-
that's why. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. So, like, go ahead.
I just what you're saying is so heavy because that's why the Bible calls us stiff-necked.
Exactly.
Now, I'm gonna break this down for I don't know if it's just Judites. I don't know if it's just Southern Kingdom, but we got the term hard-headed.
Right.
That's it. Y'all, it's Christ use that too?
Con.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so look, right? The Bible calls us stiff-necked. We call each other hard-headed. What's the difference between stiff and hard? It's the same thing. So
Right.
that's all I'm saying. Your neck is basically your head. Your head is basically your neck. It's all the same. It's all in this vicinity right here. We call each other hard-headed. The Bible calls us stiff-necked. It's the same thing, and it's got the same meaning. When you call somebody hard-headed, what are you basically telling them? They're stubborn. Somebody that's hard-headed is stubborn. That's us. We are stubborn. We are stubborn children. And you should, and this would help me, and it should help everybody. Put yourself in a child's shoes and understand that you are the child to the Most High. That's what you are. Now look at what you're doing and see if your father would approve. Like everything. I'm talking about even if you're in the truth. The things that you're doing, see if whatever's done in the dark. Things that nobody else sees. Just pretend that your father can see it because he can. See if he would approve of that. And then make adjustments accordingly. You understand? Because you're going to find, if you really put yourself in them shoes, you're going to find that you're not doing exactly what your father, the Most High, wants you to do. Now, I'm not saying that applies to everybody in the truth. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about anybody, period. Right? Because in the truth, what do? We are trying to do what Christ said to do, which is what? Be perfect.
Right.
You understand? So I'm not necessarily talking about brothers in the truth. I'm just talking about anybody that needs to examine themselves. You should examine yourself, and you should see whether or not you're doing exactly what the Most High told you to do. And if you're doing something that's approved by the Most High, go ahead, Slap.
No, and you know what I'm saying? The wicked man will always find an excuse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anybody who you see going to court, look at what they're always excuses. I'm gonna try better. I'm gonna do or this one more time. You know what I'm saying? I promise. Like that's the biggest one, right? I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I promise. You know what I'm saying? It's like a promise that they make something like, oh, I put it on my mom. You know what I'm saying? I put it on my children. You know what I'm saying? I put it on things that I don't even have possession of, but I put it on their lives. You know what I'm saying? You put on all these things. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, you know how selfish that is?
Right.
You know how selfish it is to put the sin that you have on you, put it on somebody else. That's what it means when you say I put it on them. You saying I put it on my kid. You know, listen, I've heard so many times somebody that's lying and you know they're lying. They say I put that on my kids. Damn, nigga. You put it on your children. You putting the sin, the punishment that's supposed to be on you. You trying to put it on your children. That's evil and wicked. It's a salaki. I just wanted to put it out.
And that's a coward. You know what I'm saying? You a coward, and that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? You turn into a coward once you betray. You know what I'm saying? Once you go against the Most High, because now you got to live a cowardly life. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta watch your back. Now you gotta lie to you know what I'm saying? Please your lust. Please your flesh. You gotta lie. You gotta do behind, you know what I'm saying, behind closed doors. You gotta do it, you know what I'm saying, while nobody's watching. And when you get caught, what do? You make up excuses.
Mm-hmm.
You make up excuses. You start lying. You start, you know what I'm saying, you start cutting corners to the point where it's like, man, I you know what I'm saying? Oh man, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? You say that a lot. You say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. But in reality, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about you, your children's. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a damn about nothing. And in that moment, it's a demon that's inside of them that all they give a fuck. You know what I'm saying about is their pleasure.
Right.
And at the end, you know what I'm saying, they deserve death. You know what I'm saying? It's like, go ahead.
Okay. And that's really it. I mean, we're gonna close out because like that's really the point of all of this. The point of this is just to kind of get you to check yourself. And so what Joshua is doing is he's getting brothers to like really think, because when you are reminded about what the Most High did in the time of Egypt, that should really make you think. You like, and I really mean that. Like, it should make you think. It should make you look back and say, "Damn, like the Lord really gives a damn about us. Like He loves us." Like, I ain't trying to make it all sentimental, but I mean, honestly, that's what it is. The Lord loves us. The scriptures say what? That we are the apple of His eye. I mean, now how much deeper than that does it get? I don't know. And so you have to think about that. Think about if you. Some brothers and sisters have never loved anything, and that's a terrible thing. But just think about, if you do understand the concept of love, think about the thing that you've loved the most. That's nothing compared to what the Most High looks at us as. You, the piece of garbage, I wish I could just say what I want. The piece of garbage that you are. The Most High loves you more than you've loved anything ever. More than you can even fathom what it is. The Most High loves you more than that because He said it Himself. Now, imagine disappointing the Most High because of your own lust, because of the thing you want to do. You know what you should do if you're an Israelite, if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you should make sure that you dedicate your life to making sure that you never disappoint the Most High. That's what you should do. If you don't do that, I don't know what to tell you, man. You worthless to me. You worthless to God. You're worthless to anybody, because the Most High loves you through every terrible thing that you've done. You better see that you should start fixing yourself. You should come into this school. If you're not in this school already, you should come into this school and you should learn how to fix yourself. We'll fix you. That's what you should learn how to do. But until then, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Well, I got a pretty.
Go ahead.
It's the prayer of Manasseh, right? It says I'm gonna just cut down to it's one, you know what I'm saying, one chapter. You can read it on your own, but I'm gonna go down to where to the point, right? It says, "The Most High Lord of great compassion, long suffering, very merciful, and repentance of the evils of men. Thou, O Lord, according to thy great goodness, hast promised repentance of and forgiveness to them that have sinned against thee, and of thy infinite mercies has appointed repentance unto sinners." You know what I'm saying? And going on, it says, "And have multiplied of I have set up abominations and have multiplied offenses. Now therefore I bow the knee of my heart, beseeching thee of grace." You know what I'm saying? Like we've done so much, but the Most High is like, man, like that. You gotta love the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like in just look at your life. Like, we don't deserve to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of us deserve to be here. But yet and still He chooses you. You know what I'm saying? He chooses you to, and He requires it of you to change your life. You know what I'm saying? To change your life. I mean, look at how Moses, a man who was, you know what I'm saying, had position of power. He could have done, you know what I'm saying? He could have done whatever he wanted to do. He could have stayed in that power. But you know what he traded all that power for? For his own people. You know what I'm saying? Which most of you won't do. Right. I mean, look at Nick Cannon. I mean, a prime example of what he was saying, and then what he ended up choosing to stand on. Not by his people, not by his God, but by Mammon. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, if I could, sir.
Go ahead.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So y'all saw Kendrick Lamar, right?
Oh man.
So now here's the thing with Kendrick Lamar. Now, it's not just him, but I just want to point, because you brought out Nick Cannon.
Right.
So now you have Kendrick Lamar. 4 years ago. What is it? 2016, I think. 6, damn near 6 years ago. Came out with that album where he makes a song called Yah, and the song, which Yah is not the Most High's name. Don't give the Most High nicknames. That's out of the spirit. Don't do that. But anyway, he puts in that song, I'm an Israelite. I'm not black no more. Don't call me black no more. Whatever this is. So he learned from IUIC that he was an Israelite, right? And he started trying to follow, the Israelite thing or whatever. It's not UPK. That was some other fake Israelite group who is known to be homosexual and conform to what America wants, so that way they can be more likable. We don't want to be likable, do we? We don't want to be likable. We want to be hated because Christ said that we should be hated for his name's sake. So that's just one thing, right? Persecuted. Exactly, for his name's sake. So now Kendrick Lamar does that, but everybody's like up in an uproar, like, oh, Kendrick Lamar said he's an Israelite, this, that, and the third. Oh man, this is crazy. This is like a step up for the Israelites, this, that, and the third. So no album, you don't hear nothing from him for like 4 or 5 years. Then he comes out with this album. And directly after he says he's an Israelite on that last album, this album, he makes a song about how his auntie is a man now, and he's okay with it, and we should grow up and accept transsexuals. We should accept trannies. That's what he said. And then go ahead, Slug.
No, he said something else too. He said,
the white girl that said nigga.
No, he said something else.
That's not what you're talking about?
No, look, so like about a month, if you really want, like, you know what I'm saying, the more Command Jerry Hanna, you know what I'm saying, breaks it down too. You know what I'm saying? He has a like, you know what I'm saying, you guys should all watch Black Watch. You know what I'm saying? That is Black news. There's always good, you know what I'm saying, that there's always information that Command Jerry Hanna is bringing out, you know what I'm saying, about all these false prophets and all these other you know what I'm saying, your politicians, everything. It's just Black news in general, right? But I suggest you go to Black Watch, right? I was thinking about calling it the grill, because that's how
that's what it is.
It's like, go ahead, you go ahead.
No, you too well. Yeah, no, I was just saying like that's so he ended up making a song supporting transsexuals, saying that if we're gonna get mad at white people saying the word nigga, then we shouldn't be saying the word. Basically, if you're gonna call somebody a fag, right? I'm just gonna put it in air quotes because that's not my words. I'm just using what he said, right? Then you can't be mad at white people saying the word nigga, which is ridiculous. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. You're comparing the choice of some man or woman that chooses to change their gender to the plight of Black people. That's what you're doing, and you're a Black man, and that's crazy to me. I don't even understand it. You're saying that anyway. So now he did that, right? Then this past, I think it was the BET Awards. He performs at the BET Awards. He says this because Roe v. Wade got overturned, which most high increased for that. Maybe less Black babies will die. Maybe less Hispanic babies will die, because that's the number one killer for Black people is abortion. Number one. Not gun violence, not diabetes, not high blood pressure, like what you would think is killing Black people, but no, it's abortion. It's killing all of the goddamn Black babies. That's what it's doing. So now maybe less Black babies will die. That's a good thing, I would think. That's what we like. We like black people to live. Now he's upset. I don't think he's upset. I think he's being a puppet or playing, whatever sort of game he wants to play to get more money. He goes at the BET Awards and he says, what do you say? They judge you, they judge Christ.
God, that's the one.
What is it? They judge you, they judge Christ. He said something else though. He said, they judge you, they judge Christ. Oh, something women's rights. I can't remember.
Yeah, women's rights.
I can't remember what he said.
It's time for women's rights or something like that.
Yeah. Godspeed for women's rights. They judge you, they judge Christ. Right, nigga, are you telling me? I hate to do this, but you telling me that them judging Christ, which they did. They absolutely judged Christ, right? That's what the Romans did. That's what even some of our people did. They judged Christ. They put him to death for being the Son of God. That's what they did. That's the same thing as these wicked bitches that want to kill babies. I don't know what to tell you. I don't even want to talk about it because I'll do that all night. I just do that. I'll do that. Be angry all night. That's like you. I don't know what to tell you.
And all you really see, like that's why I always say ISUPK is the home of the truth,
That's
because
right.
all you're gonna do is just create a new form of Christianity.
That's damn right.
You're gonna find a new form, a new way of Christianity, and you gonna think you call yourself a follower of Christ when really you just disgracefully, you know what I'm saying, shaming, you know what I'm saying, not only the Lord's name but Christ's name as well. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to play a part? Come in the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? Get dressed in all black. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to stop looking at these musicians like they have some that nobody has.
Right.
Like
Right.
we
Like they special.
like they special just
Right.
because they have money and they have you know what I'm saying, they have a platform, right? Like they're not special, man. They're not special, right? But you know what is special is the ISUPK. Since 1969, we've been telling you the truth,
That's right.
and you go ahead and decide to listen to, you know what I'm saying, to this. I ain't trying to lie you,
No, you got it.
but man, like it is dumb, man. It is dumb, man. Like you, like and all, like I said, man, all that it all Kendrick Lamar is doing is creating a new form of Christianity, which
Right.
is what all these religions are, man. They're all a lie. They're not the truth. You know what I'm saying? You can't. The truth is not in them. You know what I'm saying? You gonna find that. Like I said before, you are gonna find that the hard way. Go ahead, follow. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick Lamar. See how far you go with that. Go ahead.
No, and that's the point. So I was gonna bring him up, and then I was gonna bring up DC Young Fly. DC Young Fly. If anybody doesn't know, he's a comedian. You find him on what's that show? Park.
The '80s show, or
It's like 85 Park or 85
80,
South or something.
yeah,
I don't know, some garbage. He was on Wild and Out for a while. He did the
Right.
skits on the YouTube and the Facebook and all of that. That cat now talking about how he's a Hebrew and things like that, right? I think what is it, 95? I don't know, whatever. Anyway,
95 show or something.
it's like
that?
95
Yeah.
something. I don't know, something good. Anyway, dude is funny as hell as a comedian, but he shouldn't. What he's doing right now, he's basically trying to say. He put out a Twitter a tweet, right, saying that as soon as I post something about the Hebrews, they try to block my account. Nobody's trying to block his account. He's a schizophrenic, and he thinks that what he's saying is right, and that somebody's trying to stop him from spewing the garbage. Nobody's trying to stop him from doing anything. DC Young Fly can say whatever he wants. If he said if he said the earth was flat, if he said black people were Israelites, nobody's trying to stop him at all. Because nobody gives a damn about what he says because he's a nutbag. He's a nutcase. Nobody believes anything. But here's what I want everybody to understand about DC Young Fly. DC Young Fly is not in the truth. He says shalom, and he says all praises to the Most High and all of these things. And you might think that means that man right there is a man of God. He knows who the Israelites are. Oh, he knows identity, all of these things. He's just another fake Israelite. That's what I want everybody to understand. And nobody cares about fake Israelites. Not us, not God, not the FBI, nobody, not Twitter. Twitter don't give a damn about what he posts. Nobody cares about what he posts. Nobody cares, right? My point is that I want everybody to understand, not everybody that says they're Israel and they're in the truth, not everybody that says that is actually in the truth. Kendrick said he was in the truth, right? He said he was an Israelite. He's not in the truth. You can see that now. He still says he's an Israelite. Ask him right now. He'll tell you, I'm an Israelite. But women can kill their babies, though. You're not the truth there. If you say that women can have abortions, you're just a piece of garbage, and you should die like every other murderer.
Right.
That's what you should do.
Right.
You should face the same penalty that the Bible says. You know, the scriptures say that for a murder has to receive death. So if you support abortion, you should be put to death too. That's how I look at it. That's how God looks at it. I don't know what to tell anybody that believes anything different. I just don't know. That's how it is.
Man, that shit crazy, man. Like it's And it's funny because it's like I remember hearing this from, you know, what I'm saying, who else? Oh man, Deion Wilder or Wilder. What, you know what I'm saying? What is it?
Yeah, I
You know
know
what
you
I'm
said
saying?
the fighter.
Wilder. Yeah, the
Yeah,
fighter. Like I remember hearing
Dante. I
that.
think it's Dante. Wilder.
Yeah, Dante Wilder. Some other guy too. In the like, it's just so many people that they come out with these. You know what I'm saying? Arsenal, the Rebel. You know what I'm saying? Uh, oh man, it's just so many. You hear this, everybody bring out, you know what I'm saying, that we are the Israelites, but it's like it's one thing to say, you know what I'm saying, you you an Israelite, but it's another thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say you follow Christ, you love God, and like I said, it's another form of Christianity. Because what do Christians do today? They say they love Christ, they say they love God, but what are they doing? They're teaching everyone that it's okay to break the laws, that
Right.
the laws are done away with. You know what I'm saying? Like they they don't live by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. They live by the traditions of men.
Right.
That's what they live by. And that's what you're gonna see. People talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like and if you just come in, you know what I'm saying, to the truth, you might see these things and it's like it might you know what I'm saying, you might feel some type, like you might feel happy or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, you might feel excited that, oh, you know what I'm saying, just because this one guy is this one idol is bringing it out, you think, oh, everybody's gonna wake up to the truth. Man, don't put your faith in that.
Right.
Put your faith in the ISUPK. Put your faith in your camp leader.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you should put your faith in. Don't put so much hope into this man. You know what I'm saying? You do the work, you get right. You know what I'm saying? You keep striving for perfection. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then you do the work.
Right.
Like don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't let this thing give you high hopes. Cause it's like you just gonna be following John. Might as well just follow John the Baptist if that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Might
telling
as
you.
well.
I'm
Like,
telling you.
but in here we gonna follow Christ.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Nah, and that's it. That's it. And just for anybody, what he said was heavy as hell. I hope everybody caught that. He said, "Follow your camp leader." That's what you should do. And what we should all understand is bring it back home. What are we reading? The book of Joshua. Joshua was what? The camp leader. Well, Joshua back then, the leader of Israel back then was Joshua. Well, you know who the leader of Israel is right now? Commander General Yohana. That's who the leader of Israel is right now. And you know who Joshua had under him? He had elders and chief captains. Well, that's your generals and your captains now that are your camp leaders today, right here in the ISUPK. It's the same thing. Don't let anybody ever try to tell you don't follow man or whatever the hell they say, because we say that Commander General Yohana is our leader and that we got camp leaders and that we got men that are over us. That's always been Israel's structure. That's it. So just understand, if we're gonna take it back full circle, back to really what this class is about. This all everything we've been saying is exactly what this class is about, which is you need to know what the truth is, and you need to be reminded of it. Today was a reminder of what the truth is. That's all. Reminder of where you come from, a reminder of what you need to do. You understand? That's it.
It's like if
Go ahead.
we could read 14 and 15.
Yeah, you got it.
You know what I'm saying? Let me bring it out real quick. You know what I'm saying? This is book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 14. And it says, "Therefore fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served, that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Damn right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you go ahead, do like you like the thing about the ISUPK is that we not Christians, your Jehovah's Witness. We're not knocking down. You know what I'm saying? We're not chasing you. You know what I'm saying? We just warning. What we're doing is we're marking you. That's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? We're marking you what what the Most High wants. You know what I'm saying? We're teaching our people about who they are, right? The truth, the correct way to serve the Lord, right? Not your way, not the way of your fathers, which were on the other side of the flood. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we're doing in here is we're doing what no man, you know what I'm saying, in this world can do without the authority of Commander Yohanan.
That's right.
And in Christ.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no man can do this without giving the authority. Like, you gon' want to do it, and then you're gonna end up hearing about, or you're gonna end up doing your own. You're gonna end up serving yourself. That's all
right.
you're gonna be doing.
Damn right.
Just like the GMS, just like the IUIC, and just
right.
like Kendrick Lamar.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna end up serving yourself, and you're gonna be the center of, you know what I'm saying, of your organization, which everybody's gonna be worshiping you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna want everybody worshiping you and what you have to say. When in reality, the Most High said there's only one God, one doctrine, one truth, one way to get right. And that's in the ISUPK.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That's it. That's the perfect way to close out the class. With that, Imagine, which means to stand. Close out with the prayers. Panyago down, which means to face the east.
We're gonna start with the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ritzaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'aratzak, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Batananaw, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalakanaw, Kabawatinaw, Wasalakanaw, Kabawatinaw, Wala'ah, Tabayanaw, Vanasai 1, Abal, Hawashanaw, Mayan, Raikaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala. It's like Wahata Parat. It's like Wahata Parat. Like, I will you. Aman.
I'm going to read the Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
We're going to read Hakat, which means the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua. Babakashah. Nathananaw. Hakat. Larapa'ah. Kalmaka'ala. Wakal Hakat. Latahar. Hamatzazrayim. Hakat. Lakwayam. Hamathim. Hakat. Arakawa. Hatma'ala. Lagarshan. Ba'ashem Yahushua. The word Aman.
In the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you, so be it.
We're going to read Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanyu, Ahaharyu, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Aizaryu, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Asha,
Aisha,
Shamayam,
Shamayam,
Wa Ratza,
Ratza,
Ayathan,
Ayathan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Rogalka,
Ragalka,
Ayanawam,
Ayanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hana,
Waya,
it's like Hana,
Hana,
La'a,
La'a,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yashan,
Yashan,
Shawamar,
Shamar,
Yashrala,
Yashala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tzalka,
Zalka,
Ayad,
Ayad,
Yamyaka,
Yamika,
Yom, it's like Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashamash,
Hashamash,
La'a,
La'a,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
it's like Wayarak,
Wayarak,
Balayala,
Balayla,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Makalrai,
Makal Rai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Athnapashka,
Adnapashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Tazaathka,
Tazaathka,
Waba'aka,
Waba'aka,
Ma'aitha,
Ma'aitha,
Wa'aid,
Wa'aid,
Iwalum.
Iwalum. Psalms 121st chapter, in the English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth
he
Yashar'Allah
that keepeth Yashra'Allah
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh shall Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
He shall, it's like Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. Psalms the 83rd chapter in the Hebrew. Allahayim,
Allahayim,
Adaman Yalaka,
Adama Yalaka,
Alta Kurash,
Alta Karash,
Alta Shakwa,
Alta Shakwat,
Al, Kayahana,
Kayahna,
Awayabyaka,
Awayabika,
Yahama Yawan,
Yamayawan,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Amaka,
Amaka,
Ya'ari Yamu,
Yawayamu,
Sawada,
Sawada,
Wayatha,
Waitha,
Ya'aitizawa,
Yaitizawa,
Alta Pawanyaka,
Alta Zapawanyaka,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakidam,
Wanakakidam,
Magalia,
Magalia,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yashra'Allah,
Shami Yashar'Allah,
Awada,
Awada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawaitizawa,
Nawaitizawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakadwa,
Yakadwa,
Ayaka,
Ayaka,
Bariyat,
Varyat,
Yakarathwa,
Yakarathwa,
Allahayim, it's
Allahayim,
like Ahalia,
Ahayim,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wayashal, what's like, Wayashamai,
Wayashamai,
Allahayim,
Aliyam,
Alayam, it's like Bariyat,
Varyat,
Yakar, it's like Yakarathwa,
Yakarathwa,
Allahayim, it's like Mawaba,
Mawaba,
Wahagaryim,
Wagaryam,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Wa'amawan,
Wamawan,
Wa'amalat,
Wamalak,
Palashat,
Palashah,
I'm Yeshabia,
I'm Yeshabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gamashawar,
Kamashawar,
Nalawa,
Alawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Zarwai,
Zarwai,
Labanyalawat,
Labanilawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Ashalaham,
Ashalaham,
Kamadyan,
Kamadyan,
Kasayab,
Kasaya,
Sarah,
Sara'ah,
Kayabyan,
Kayab,
Banakal,
Manakal,
Kayashwan,
Koyashwan,
Nashamadwa,
Nashamadwa,
Bayan,
Bayan,
Da'ara,
Dara,
Hayawan,
Ayawa,
Daman,
the Man,
La'adamun,
the Adama,
Shayatamwan,
Shayathamwa,
Nada,
Nada,
Yamawa,
Yamawa,
Ka'ira,
Kaira,
Wakaza Abba,
Wakaza Abba,
Wakazabat,
Wakaza Bak,
Wakatazal,
Wakazal,
Manai,
Manai,
Call,
Call,
Nasayakamwa,
Nasaikamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Nayara'ash,
Naira'ash,
it's like Nayarashah,
Nairashah,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Ath,
Af,
Nawat,
Nawa,
Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Alahaya,
Alahayim,
Shayatamwa,
Shayathamwa,
Gagagla,
Kagaga,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapanyaraka,
Lapanyaraka,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Saba'ira,
Saba'ira,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ira,
Waya, it's like Wakahal, sorry, Wakalaba,
Okalaba,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Arayam,
Arayam,
Khan,
Khan,
Taradapma,
Taradapma,
Basa'iraka,
Basa'iraka,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapatka,
Wapaka,
Tabahalam,
Tabalam,
Mala'ab,
Mala'ah,
Banyaham,
Panyaham,
Kuala One,
Kuala
Wayabakashwa,
Wabakwashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Wayabush, like Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Wayahab, it's like Wayabahawa,
Wabahawa,
Ayai,
Ayai,
Wayakaparwa,
Wakaparwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Wadaiwa,
Kayatha,
Kayatha,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Labatka,
Labaka,
Ayanawan,
Ayanawan,
Akal,
Aka,
Haratzah.
Alright. All right, Psalms the 83rd chapter. In the English now. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo,
thine
enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make it tumble.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And that they hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let us cut them off. Let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Yasha'Allah,
that the name of Yasha'Allah
may be no more in remembrance.
May be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
And
the Hagarenes. Gabal. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kasan. Which perished that endured. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red. And like Zeel. Yea. All their princes as Abab. And as Almunah. Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh.
The houses of Yahweh
in possession. Oh my God. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest. And make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. O Yahweh. Let them be confounded in trouble forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame and perish. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth.
We'll read the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Wa Mayaka'Allah. Wa Lahayim. Matazab Ya'ah. Alawap Yahana. Alawapim. Asaranyim. Akwataziyan. Akayayalim. Wa Akwathim. Yahweh. Bashim Yahweh Shai. The white armor.
The blessings in English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And
Michael. And the angels. Commanding General Yahana. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Majib Shabbat. Majib Barak. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yajim Matah. Sabbath service dismissed.